Mr. Deity.
Peace, this is Brother Tim coming at you live. We are at the study session. We just got done watching Hip Hop on Trial, and we are going to move into the discussion. We gave the young people an opportunity to take a couple minute break, and then when we come back, we're going to get into the discussion. One of the things I want to cover with them first, before we really get into it, is the basis of a good debate, because basically we watched a debate and I want them to get a picture of that, so maybe you might learn something about that as well. Maybe I might learn something myself. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to get into the discussion about hip-hop being on trial and the responsibility that hip-hop has and the power that hip-hop has, and how do we fit into all this. So what I'm going to do is, right now, I'm going to move to a song by Rashawn Roland Kirk called Blackness. Check out this tune, and when we come back, we will be able to start our discussion. This is Brother Hot Tim. You are listening to Giami Journey, and you are not alone. This is Giami Journey Radio, Warrior Training, a heart of Simba Productions, where we strive to blow up your paradigms.
This is Willie. Welcome to Giami Journey Radio. I want to give shout out to Simba Kevin, all my Simba Nation out there. I want to give shout out to my mom. I want to give shout out to my dad for raising me and my family for being around me. And I want to give shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
This is Cleveland, and you're listening to Giami Journey Radio.
This is Brother Asaru, and you now listen to Giami Journey Radio. Peace.
Now we gathered here on the universe at this particular time, to listen to the 36 black notes of the piano. There's 36 black notes and 52 white notes. We don't mean to eliminate nothing, but we're going to just hear the black notes at this time, if you don't mind. Blackness, B-L-A-C-K-N-U-S-S.
Alright. Now y'all know we doing a podcast, so when you talk up so that you can be heard. Like I told y'all getting crazy hits. The adult session, we got like 50 or 60 hits. And with the youth sessions, we usually get more. So right now, we just got done watching the debate. We just got done doing the debate. Or watching a debate with that brother Asaru wanted us to watch. I want to show y'all something real quick. Now, when you debating, it's three. Go sit down, baby, please. Sit down. There's three things that y'all need to know about debating. There's three different ways that you can present your argument. Now, if you go home and you review what you heard or what you saw, go home and watch it again. I want you to look for this in all arguments because I want to get y'all to learn this now because some of y'all might be lawyers, some of y'all might have some points that you want to argue, and there's three different ways that you need to be able to attack a point. First is ethos. Everybody say ethos. Ethos. Now, these are Greek terms. Of course, you know the Greeks were some of our best students, right? So ethos, a formal argument based on character or authority. For example, this is how this happened in this debate. The first thing that happened was they introduced the two people that was arguing. What did they tell us about the two people that was arguing? One for hip-hop, the other against hip-hop. How did they tell us about the character of the individuals and the authority that they have? How did they introduce them? Anybody remember? Go ahead, Will.
The one was for hip-hop was a lawyer. He was like a big name, a huge name.
Okay. And how about the one that was arguing for? Then he was a doctor. Dr. Eric Dyson. They didn't just say Eric Dyson is going to come up and no. They tell you about the person. So when you are in an argument, you got to let people know what gives you the right and the ability to argue about something. Both of those people supposedly had degrees and whatever, so you understand that their character shows that they are individuals that are able to study. All right, so they give you examples right here. How to identify ethos and ads. Endorsed by a celebrity, by someone in a uniform, by professional-looking people. So what you try to do, you try to establish your ethos before you start talking to somebody. You let people know what your character is. All right? So part of the process we going through is helping y'all develop the character that you are. So that when you're talking about something, you come across with some authority. You come across where people can trust what you're saying. The next one is pathos. Everybody say pathos.
Pathos.
A form or argument based on emotions, fear, desire, sympathy, and anger. This is what most of us are good at. This is where the argument comes on the part where I pull on your fears or I pull on your emotions. I want you to feel good. I want you to laugh. I want to tell jokes. I want to tell you stories because I got to get you into my argument. I got to get you to feel what I'm talking about. Eric Dyson is real good at that, isn't he? You know what I'm saying? Because he would use the language. He would flip from the doctor mode right back into the hip-hop mode. He would say something profound, and he'd say, peace, nigga. Right?
That's a one-dimensional sense.
Huh?
That's a one-dimensional sense.
He's not one-dimensional. So first he had the credibility. Then he was able to use this pathos. He was able to get into people's emotions. He was able to get you to feel what he was saying. The other guy had a good argument too. Now, we're going to get to the most, I ain't going to call it the most important part because these form a triangle. So when you're in an argument, first, you got to be able to show your credentials to be able to argue. Then you got to be able to get the person involved in your argument. If you want to win, you got to get the people that's listening to the argument emotionally involved in what you're talking about. Then lastly, you got to have logos. Everybody say logos.
Logos.
Logos is a formal argument based on logic, facts, and figures. So when you want to win an argument, you combine all three of these. I come at you. I got credibility. I show you the credibility of my argument. I get you involved in it through emotions, through stories. Now you feeling me. And then I'm going to drop logic, facts, and figures to prove my point. Now, when we discussing what these people were arguing about and what they was talking about, I want y'all to keep some of these in mind. And some of the other videos that we watching because we're going to refer back to these because I want, if you don't get nothing else out this process, well, there's two things. One, I want some of y'all to become, well, really, all the young people in here to become authors, an authority. I want you to get your ethos together. Last thing, I want you to be able to deconstruct people's argument, because people are going to be coming at you, and they're going to erase this, the ethos, and they're going to erase the logos, and they're always going to try to get you on your emotions. This is what's been happening to us for the last 100 years. People have been getting us involved emotionally, but they haven't been giving us the logic, facts, and figures, and they have not been coming at us with some credibility as an individual. Because I want your argument to be, when somebody's arguing with you, can they really represent what they're arguing about? You understand what I'm saying? Or do y'all need me to give you an example?
Example.
All right. Last week I did a show about this pastor in, I think in South Carolina. This pastor discovered he had full-blown AIDS. Right? Now this pastor is teaching the gospel, and he's working on the pathos of the people. And sometimes he might even bring facts. But his character throws off everything. You know why? Because not only did he get diagnosed with full-blown AIDS, but he was having sex with some of the young women that was in his congregation, and maybe some of the young men. So my question is, does his ethos represent what he's trying to represent? It don't line up. Right? Now, in the Bible, for those that read this, you judge a tree by its what?
Mom had told me one day the word nigga and really truly being king, and that's probably the root or the origin of the word. Sometimes it is used in different forms, like you walk up to somebody like my nigga, or you like somebody say something wrong, like stupid nigga. It just depends on the context, the reality of the situation.
Because when I was growing up, I was thinking the word nigga meant a word of endearment. You know what I mean? And then reading the dictionary, it says some person that's ignorant. But when you go back into our ancient societies and you look up the word niggas, here's the definition. Niggar, natgar. Used as a term of endearment by some youth, rejected by others as sounding too close to the racist term nigger. Nasir as Nazarene, Hebrew for root and original. Naga, South Indian and African term, black Negro tribes of India and Africa, Sudan to Nigeria, equals original. So the term is meaning king, God, or the original man and black woman. You know what I mean? And I'm going to show you a picture of what the original Naga's were. These are the niggas that they talking about. This is you. You see them lips and them nose and them eyes, them Asiatic eyes, that's you. That's the empire you started in Cambodia, Khmer. So I just wanted to show you where the term nigga came from, because there was so many words they were talking about. What's the word? How the word nigga feels to everybody, or the word, the B word, or anything. But I just wanted you to show a historical point of where the word nigga came from and your origins with that word. So with that, how did everybody feel about the whole debate? Is hip hop degrading? Or does it enhance society? Willie?
I think it does both. Just like God is, it has two sides to it. It has positive and negative, but you have free will. You have the free will to either be on the positive side or the negative side. And there's a lot of rappers out there that enhance like goodness and stuff, but they don't get the ears like that. And there's a lot of people like Chief Keef and them that get all the ears because whoever the hidden hand is letting them have the most popularity or whatever. But I think it does bring them up, because you could be in some certain type of mood and listen to a song and your whole spirit changes. You feel way better than you did before. So, yeah.
Anybody else? I'll tell.
I agree with him. It's a double-edged sword, because I can't think of one culture or one thing that's just all good. We all like sugar, but at a certain amount of too much sugar can kill you. You know what I'm saying? So you have everything in the universe. It has a positive side, and he says a negative side. So for us to expect hip hop to be anything else, so different from any other man creation, because like I said, a sword is an excellent weapon and could be an excellent tool, but at the same time, a sword can be used for all to support injustice. You know what I'm saying? So, but we don't condemn the sword. We don't condemn the gun, which can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But to expect hip hop to just have this positive, to have this positive piece all the time, is for us to expect it to be something outside of man's creation. You know what I'm saying? Everything we create can be used both ways. Everything in nature can be used for good or for ill. It's all in who using it and how they're using it.
Anybody else? Ladies?
I have something. The debate, it even listening to both sides brought out a lot more things I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think about hip hop, I didn't really imagine how people could be against it. You know what I'm saying? Especially even when I listen to those that were against it, they still kind of empowered it still. You know what I'm saying? Letting you know that, okay, it is something that African Americans, it is our stuff. You know what I'm saying? It does do this, it does do that. You know what I'm saying? So I heard the support on both sides for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And so when I went into when I first put it up there, it was like, well, what are they going to basically say about it? But I enjoyed KRS One first speaking out and letting you know, like, wait a minute, we're talking about the greatness of society, or we're talking about how we're, basically sending people to kill here and do these things that America is doing to people, or who's the degraders here. So I enjoyed it.
I was kind of mixed on the debate because I've had periods with hip hop. I've had love and hate periods with hip hop. I had a period where I used to say F hip hop because what's being shown and portrayed as hip hop to me really ain't. So my whole thing is, even with my thing is the context of the debate. Hip hop don't degrade, but Lil Wayne might, Wiz Khalifa might, Migos might. You know what I'm saying? The generalization of it was a problem for me, and they spoke on that. But can you call something that we don't control? Can you give it the same name as when we controlled it, and when we like you said, everything is dual. Everything has that duality. Everything has that positive and that negative. But we're not. I don't feel like that we're speaking to all the way to the problem of mainstream hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Mainstream hip hop is not dual. It's not that double-edged sword. It's just the sword used in a negative way. Granted, I'm not saying that you can't hear one J. Cole song or somebody's song that does say something positive, but it's not 50-50, so it's not a sword. It's not the sugar. You know what I'm saying? Smart, you speak on that? Yeah, you agree? Y'all agree? Disagree with that? It being,
I mean, well, now, first off, the whole, for me, the whole structure of the debate, from how we started all this talking about hip hop, is kind of it really wasn't about hip hop. The whole debate was about rap, which is an aspect of hip hop culture, and most people outside of hip hop culture don't know that there's other parts of hip hop. So of course, if you come in at it from the framework that there's only rap, then you're gonna always have a problem with it. Second, I agree with your point far as the what's controlling that rap on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very clear that we don't control that commercialized one that plays over the airways, the ones that all of us are being bombarded with. We don't control that. But the ones that we do control, you know what I'm saying? How can I put it? We do have a certain aspect that we can control. Like they kept alluding back to. If you don't want your kids to listen to that, turn off the airway. You know what I'm saying? It's certain. I love hip hop, but it's certain. But I love jazz too. But there's certain jazz musicians that I don't really dig because they're not what I like. Just like with rap.
You're basically taking the food and afterwards you're shipping it out. And when you're shipping it out, of course, the people actually want to have the food because they need it to survive. This is like with hip hop. If you really think about it, this issue would not be that big if people just decided to like turn off their radios once every while. When people actually figure out and actually just decide that this is not really the type of music that I want, I don't really like these lyrics, they can actually be harmful to my children, and decide to turn out that radio, then we wouldn't actually have that big of an issue. However, since the beats sound good, people actually want to like keep tuned into there. They don't care about the lyrics; they only really care about the beat. The only reason why the lyrics are even having any type of effect whatsoever is because of the fact that the beats sound good. Think about it. Would you actually listen to a song whatsoever that had a beat that actually was like ba 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 out of nowhere? Would you actually listen to a disoriented beat?
Whether it's good or not, though, that's opinion. If you only fed one thing, and you turn that radio on, and that's what you hear, people don't know whether stuff is good or not. It's just that's all they have. I don't know how many times I've had throughout the years. I've had people who listen to the mainstream radio a lot deal with a song that when it first come out they can't stand it, but because it's on their radio every day, let a month go by and they done heard it so much. Oh, you know what? That's all right.
But let me ask you something. These same people that have actually told you these type of stories, did you ask them like if they actually bothered to listen to any other type of music at some point? Like if it actually came as just more than a thought but an actual do? You see, with people,
Stop.
there's like, you're in your comfort zone and then there's things outside of your comfort zone. Now, the reason why most people will not actually step out of their comfort zone is because they already have enough of what they have in their comfort zone. What's the need to step out? But the only way that is actually possible to step out of your comfort zone is if you're depleted of whatever is in your comfort zone that makes it your comfort zone. Then you can step out and explore, and then you never know. You may actually end up liking another set of genre. You may end up liking another set of people, another group of friends. In truth, hip-hop is not good nor evil. It can never be good nor evil. The lyrics itself, maybe. You can possibly argue more about that. The whole general idea of whether hip-hop is good or evil, it's not exactly the idea that we're looking for. Because there's hip-hop everywhere. There's country everywhere. There's classical everywhere. The only reason why hip-hop is actually set up as its own type of genre is because of the fact that it has a different style of beats. The reason why it actually has a bad name is because of the lyrics. The reason why it also has a good name, though, is because of the lyrics. So you actually have to look at the type of people that spits out the flow, the type of people that actually pays the people to spit out the flow, and then the songwriters, because you also have to realize that some of these people don't even write out their own lyrics. They just rap about someone else's.
Anybody else?
Just like how the book was
South Dakota when Eazy went in to be president. That's exactly how it is. I mean, of course you go in with good intentions. Everybody goes in with good intentions, but then circumstances hit, life hits, basically. Then it's all about the money. Like, that's what most people rap about. Money, girls, everything. It's the power. That's all I gotta say. I don't know. Hip-hop is hip-hop. I mean, it's just born. It's something that's inside of us. But when we let somebody else control it, it's like controlling our mind. That's our spirit. So we let somebody else control our spirit.
Allow me to elaborate on that. When you say that we let someone control our spirit, exactly how do we do it? Now, I don't understand control, but I do understand influence. As in, like, I will tell you right now, there's not a person in this room, on this planet, in this entire universe, who will ever control me. I'll do it myself. But there are people who will actually influence me to do other things.
But why is that though? Why do most people go for what the crowd goes for?
Because usually it's like more of a general population necessity. If you see one person doing it, oh, they're crazy. But if you see a bunch of people doing it, all of a sudden it becomes a thing.
Right? You want to fit in. It's all about love. If people don't understand that, hip hop is love. Everything is connected through love. If one person, okay, just like in school, if you look at school, everybody's sitting at the popular table. Then you have the lames walking by. They want to sit at that popular table too because that's what's in. That's what the style is. But like I said, if you over here talking about black freedom, nobody wants to hear that no more. Everybody want to hear about the new rock queens or the new, you feel me, the Jays or whatever it's called.
So the question goes to who determines what is lame, what is cool, but also back to the conversation we had about a month ago when we were talking about that GPS or lack of how are we going to get to where we're ultimately trying to go. What is our cultural lens? What is the ultimate that we value?
I would say
because the thing is also art in and of itself should spark conversation because it's neither positive or negative. But what I can do with the words is I can look at this and I can measure it against my value system. What is our value system? What are the things that we are talking to our children about? What are we talking to our brothers and sisters about? What are we talking to our friends about? So that's where I thought was lacking from the debate is that cultural or that personal responsibility. And say that Kuji Tagalia being able to define for yourself and instead of having some outside influence. Because if we remember that original definition that was shared about self, those perfect qualities of an individual that don't have any outside influence.
Now I have a question for you. If you was to go off to war to say expand, I guess, your kingdom. Like say that you're a king and you go off to war to expand your kingdom and you actually end up conquering your enemies. Now, let's use that as an example right there. You go out to war, you conquer your enemies and all that other stuff. Hooray, you got your land. Now, what about the soldiers? What about the people that you conquered? What about, like, the daily tensions between them? Because remember, it was their land first. They were minding their own business. You decided that you actually wanted to get a piece of their land.
So I do one of two things. Either I totally annihilate them, where there is no one else, and I'll bring in my own. Or I create a situation that allows them to believe that they're still their own individual and live their lives. But ultimately, they understand at the end of the day that I'm in control. I make the final decision.
But if I may, say that there's like people who don't want to be ruled. Because let's be honest here, there's people that say that they don't want to be ruled, but yet they look for direction. Let me put that out there right now. There's people that don't want to be ruled, but they're looking for direction. Now, if these people were to say start a revolt against your tyranny because of the fact that you are a king who just took over their land, and mind you are a king who's like powerful, so of course you like ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Would you let it grow or would you stop it out immediately?
So the question is, do they believe I'm just enough?
The answer to that question is no, because you took their land first. They were minding their own business. You were greedy enough to actually go over there and take their land because you thought that it looked good. Forget the resources there. You just thought that it looked good, as opposed to just like establishing a trading market or a trading post, or maybe even like some type of diplomatic measure. You just decided to go over there and take it.
You talking about America?
Yeah. Let's use America.
I mean,
even though Americans don't have
America,
kings.
you could look at it as the Roman Empire. You could look at it as
because the situation you're describing is one. If you have that, if he allows the second aspect of the piece where I'm gonna allow you to exist, but you understand that I'm the king, and there's a cell that rises up. One of two things: either I gotta get into that cell and corrupt it, or I'm gonna totally annihilate it. There's no other choice. You see what I'm saying? So now, if y'all too headstrong, I'm totally annihilating. Then I'm gonna look at how can I prevent something like this from happening again. How do you do that? You destroy the art, you destroy the culture, you degrade it, and you make sure they understand that everything that comes from his kingdom is top notch. Everything that comes from your people is garbage. So now I got the best of your kids trying to be like me. So now you can be as rebellious as you want. Right?
Yep.
You can have as many conversations with the old heads you want, but your children will follow me. Then you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to mandate that all your children go to my school.
You know what? I'm so glad that you actually brought up America, because essentially what you're saying is that even with America itself, like right now you see people like hitchhiking back and forth through our land and to their former land, even though it wasn't their land to begin with. But if you're saying that what I built, you took over my land and you brought me over to your land to work your fields as punishment or whatever, like what type of justification this country uses. If you're saying that I built this stuff and that it's all crap, but everything that you build is okay, technically you never built anything because it was my back and my people who worked your land in the first place.
Now,
so you're calling my structurals crap,
right,
because of the fact that I actually built it in the first place.
Right.
Even though you work in there, you live in there, you eat from there, you drink from there, your whole structure goes off of what I built in the first place.
But you don't know that. I mean, you know it, but your peers don't know that. You know, because now, being a conqueror, right? See, because this is what a lot of us don't do. We don't put ourselves in everybody's shoes. Being a conqueror, I can't let you think that you have the capabilities of creating anything. I can't even let you think that you can control your family. You understand what I'm saying? You are nil. You're nothing. So I need to make sure you recognize that. So I need to set up the base like this, because even the thing that you have that came from you, that is spreading all over the world, we need to have a debate about whether or not it's good. Now, like he said, if we look at country music, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with country music and country artists, but we don't hear about it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, now with some of these reality TV shows, we can see some of that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, they brought our stuff out first. You understand what I'm saying? So now, the 1-2 that we possibly got that we can use, I need to have y'all debating about whether it's a good tool or a bad tool, or is it something that y'all need to throw away, so I can keep confusion going. One of my favorite artists, my favorite song from one of my favorite artists is CBB, Confusion Break Bones. Because we confused, we run into each other, and we're breaking each other up. You see what I'm saying? Because all of our views are different. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you might be one of those rebels that could look at what he's saying is what he's doing is unjust. But what about the other 9 million of you that think that what he's doing? He has a food program. What you got? You know what I'm saying? He allowed me to put a garden in my backyard. What you allow me to do? Hey, he educating my kids. What you doing? I mean, how can you even compete with that? And the question that you asked brought us to the point where you are approaching in your life as a black man, right? You know all this. You was, in a sense, because this is a double-edged sword, you had the blessing and the curse to know, right? One of the first things when I started reading the scriptures when I was young that I ran into was the book by Solomon called, it wasn't not Proverbs. Lamentations. We talk about all this sorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole piece was, this whole book is about a man who came into wisdom, and he saw that all of it was about vanity. He saw no sense in the world, right? Which I'm quite sure you wake up and sense, which fuels some of the anger that you have. You see what I'm saying? Now, but what you have to be able to do is to identify who you are, or we got to identify who we are as that revolutionary group you're talking about, understand what principles we live under, and start promoting that amongst ourselves, right? And then start giving each other things. Like, I can't give you the right to grow gardens, but I can show you a better way to grow tomatoes. Hey, he could tell you that you can make liquor and not give you a license, but I can teach you how to make your own liquor. I can teach you how to preserve your food so that when he get mean, we can all still eat. But we're not really getting into that, right? I'm sorry. Your conversation. I'm sorry, baby.
Well, before I actually give a response to that, I need y'all to quote me on this.
It's on podcast.
I
all
know.
over the country.
I want y'all to know that this is Prophet Xavier Everett who said this. When faced in the situation, lest it be dangerous or lest it be common, a human being is faced with two choices. You can either adapt and evolve, or you can die. And with every single situation that is thrown at me, I will adapt until it's time for me to go.
With the adapt piece, you left one important piece out. You said evolve. You need to keep those two together. Adapt and overcome. It's cool to adapt. You know, you could adapt to being in jail. And you could adapt to being raped every day while you in jail. You could adapt to living in hell. But what good is adapting to it if you just gonna stay there? You might as well just die. If you just say adapt, which black people have been doing, but you don't throw the overcome, you see what I'm saying? Because we should want something better. I don't know about you, but I need to make sure that the world is better for them. And for them. You see what I'm saying? Because I can't allow them to exist in this world in the way it is right now. That's why I do this. You understand what I'm saying? They become our reason. And they become our reason to want to overcome. Right?
What's going on should not still be relevant right now.
All this.
And that way it's time for us to move on. Instead of just sitting here wondering exactly what makes things good and what makes things bad, we should actually be making plans for the future ourselves.
There you go.
That's our point right here. That's the whole point of this entire process. That's our whole point of living. The whole point of a human being is to plan for the next future.
Right.
The whole point of having children is to have them and to teach them how to plan for their next future.
That's right, time. Willie, you better jump in, dog, because you raising your hand. You better jump in.
A warrior is involved in conflict. So each and every day we involved with some type of problem, some type of question. You answer. If you don't answer, you stop and you got to redo the answer. It's like a test. Some teachers give you a test and say if you don't get this much, you can redo it. Some teachers just fail you. So life is like that. Sometimes you got situations you get into that if you fail, you fail. But sometimes that failure is not a fail right now and it's a glory in the end. And then sometimes you fail, you get another test to come back. So I see you got something to say, so what you got to say?
He dug deep. He went in deep. Alright. A test is the test.
You better stop putting that stuff in your mind.
Tests are basically designed not to see whether you know or not, but whether to actually see if you can overcome it. You don't need to know all the questions to pass a test. At all. I mean, you can be studying your entire life, but that doesn't mean that you're actually going to pass the test. Actually, I've seen some tests out there that doesn't even have anything to do with the subject. It's just there. And I personally, myself, have also, passed some tests that I didn't even know the answers to. I just, went with instinct. I went with what was in my head. I went with logic.
Intuition.
Basically. I'm trying to say here basically is that you're right, you're gonna face a test every day. Every single day. But the question is not whether or not you can pass the test. The question is, can you overcome the test? Are you gonna test the test, or is the test testing you?
Agree?
Miss Trina has something to say.
No, actually, you came back around. I just wanted to ask the other youth. I think Devin had said, who determines
what's lame or what's cool?
And I just was wondering if some people over here who have not spoken yet will be willing to respond to that question. Can you ask them again?
So who determines for you what is cool or what is lame?
What'd you say?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. There's certain things that you're willing to do and certain things that you're not willing to do. Gotta be down with the flow.
Oh my God.
You said you gotta be down with the flow to be cool? But who determines if you're gonna be down with the flow or not? What is it that is determines that? Yeah.
Like when he's at 214, they like bleach pants.
Hey, hush.
Like the new Jordans. They like Nike socks, leaks and stuff like that. They like diamonds. Okay. In order to be cool, you have to wear at least something. Like nowadays, in middle school, nowadays you'll see people wearing black forces. Somebody woke up in school wearing black forces. They'll call them basic. But if you woke up in school with white forces nowadays, now you understand you're walking with the person, or I don't know how to say it, but if there's certain things like they make you cool if you wear like something that's worth more than like say $30, they make you cool. If you wear something that costs like towards $100, they'll say that you good. Like more than a jean jacket, vest jacket with you wear a jean jacket bleach or some jeans bleach, some shoes, some Jordans that's mixed up, something like that.
Okay.
I don't understand sometimes when people say what shoes is worth more than your whole wardrobe. I mean,
you said what?
I said sometimes I don't understand when people say like your shoes are worth my shoes are worth more than your whole wardrobe. I mean, it's stupid because one, you're gonna grow out of it. Two, you're gonna like wear it out. So why would you spend so much time and effort on one thing when you can get as much as my whole wardrobe?
I have a question for the youth though.
Hold on. We got two on.
Sometimes people these days they say popular like cool is like when you have girlfriends, and sometimes when you be bad, like when you sometimes you don't show up in school, you just like hang out and do like smoke and stuff on side of buildings, and people they be like, okay, like what he said, if you show up with something that's like, okay, $20, a $20 pair of pants, and then you say, oh, my pants is $20, it would be like, oh, that's whack, like, you're on the lame side. But then people that's cool, like, when they come in with a $100 pair of pants, then they want to take them in on the cool side, but then they're going to throw them out once they get that $20 pair of pants.
Do you think that that's okay?
No.
You think that's stupid too? Like, okay.
Okay. This for everybody. For some adults too. Alright. Nowadays, I walk around. I see adults. Some adults wearing $100 stuff and not in a good place because they want to be cool. And I see people who's not really cool, who's wearing stuff like this sort of stuff. Like, I don't care, I wear this sort of stuff too sometimes, but people like, they try to wear this sort of stuff. People who wear this sort of stuff you see more. Or people who wear $10 pants, $5 shirts, $2 shirts, Walmart and stuff like that. You see them get more stuff than you do. You looking at those and they got more clothes than you do. Because they're not trying to get just one thing for like all your money. They're trying to get like more sorts of stuff. Some people think felines are cool. Some people think the first Blazers who just came out. I'm trying to say it's peach. Alright. Some people think the first Blazers that came out are cool. But people like me, like they be like, when I go to school, they be like, I'm fat and stuff like that. I'll be like, there's something that you can do to change me about it. Nothing that you can do to change me. So they'll try to like, when I say that, the cool people, like the group of people, they'll get mad or something like that. But then when I walk in with something that they want, that I got for the list, used or something, they'll try to do something like order. So you walk up to school, some people, they walk around with these flip-flops. Walk around flip-flops. You walk up in school, get an iPhone. The cool people walk around with the flip-flops, don't want nobody to know, but you got an iPhone. So you walking home, you still geek because you just got the iPhone. But the person, they try to like, since you got the iPhone, the cool people like the jump people. So they gonna try to take your iPhone. But knowing me, you're not gonna just take my iPhone. So I'm doing the best I could and don't let them take my iPhone.
Okay, but my question was, I see your hand. My question was, who determines what's cool? Who does that?
More like
Somebody answer.
One person, like,
no. Who determines what's cool?
Like,
more like you determine that it's actually cool to get
one
roused.
person,
Okay.
one person will wear something. One person does something if they think it's nice. It all depends. I don't know. It all determines on the person who they really look after or something. If they wear something, everybody gonna start wearing it.
Moina, who determines what's cool?
Myself.
Yourself. Say it again.
Myself.
Who determines what's cool for you?
Layla.
Layla, who determines what's cool for you?
Myself.
To you? Yeah? Who determines what's cool for you? It better be you. It better be you. Well, who determines what hip-hop music is cool for you? It should be you, right? And what if you think it's not cool? What do you do then?
I say I don't listen to that music.
What you said? You were talking about something that wasn't cool. You said that was stupid to you, right? Do you still pay attention to it and listen to it? No.
Like, just let it go in one ear and out the other.
You let it go in one ear and out the other. You get from it what you need. And then the rest you let it go. Who determines what's cool for you? Everybody. Who determines what's cool to you? You. Us. We do.
We supposed to. I mean, because I want to keep it real because we know a majority of us that's in here saying that we set the standard for ourselves. We lying. I mean, y'all ain't gonna win. We can't allow each other to slide like that. You know what I'm saying? We can say, oh, I determine what's cool for me, but I was in high school. I was in middle school. Shit, I was in college. I'm grown now. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is, do we really set that? Because nobody really answered a question.
All right, let's do some minutes.
I'm sorry.
Gigi.
I think, though, we need to know that we have that power to do that.
I agree.
And I think that's what's unique about hip-hop, because you can project who you are. Nobody determined the standard for me, not in hip hop, not in school, or anything else. I determined it for me. I'm not saying that you have that or you don't, but we need to activate it. We need to actualize it. You determine what's cool for you. You do that.
Can I give an example of that?
Yes.
When I was 18, you couldn't convince me that Jordans was cool. You know why? Because Jordans cost 75 cents to make. But you want me to pay $150 for them. You're not going to come up on me like that.
Hold on, sir. You said at the age of 18.
18.
So how, okay, when you were a youth, were Jordans cool to you?
My mama would never buy them for me, so.
Right, okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, at the age of this youth, it's all about acceptance. Are you being accepted? Are you being loved? It's okay to go home and get loved by your parents, but school is a whole different story.
Of course.
Kids are cruel.
Of course.
Kids, and that's not, it's something that is portrayed on the media because the only people that can really afford Jordans and North Face is white middle class or black middle class. Everybody's not white middle class or black middle class. Parents who are on Section 8 goes out to buy their kids Jordans and all that because they want to feel. It all goes back to the parent because a lot of parents who were raised with a lot of stuff, like my mom and my auntie, they were raised with a lot of stuff, but they will not buy us no Jordans. No, they won't. They don't even. They go to the thrift store. But a parent who did not have any of that stuff, they're going to go buy their child all that. Just so their ego could feel good. So it took maturity for you, because you didn't get that. You know what I mean? You didn't, but you were raised different too. A lot of people, it's all how you were raised at home. If the mom's low, if she has low self-esteem, then the child is going to have low self-esteem because it all starts in the womb first.
You breaking down some science, girl.
What's
your name? What's your name? What's your name?
Tom Brika.
Say it loud so they can hear you.
My name is Tom Brika Turner.
Of course, but and just to clarify, my parents they didn't come up with a lot, so they had that just like most parents that don't. I want to give you this, but they wouldn't buy me. I've had some bad experience with Jordans. When I was in kindergarten, a little kid named JJ, he tried to clown me because I ain't had no Jordans, and he had brand new Jordans. So I pushed him in the mud. So I ain't really in his brand new Jordans. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't never really had a good thing with Jordans anyway. But and I've been in y'all shoes. I had, man, when I was in first, second, third grade, we had the moccasins. Everybody call them boat shoes now. When I was in second, third grade, it's called moccasins. Nigga, you wearing Indian shoes. You know what I'm saying? And I had them and felt bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Moccasins. Then I got some Spaldings and felt even worse. Spalding make basketballs. You got their shoes on. You know what I'm saying? But what's up?
Okay, let me just get this.
Go ahead.
Back to the kids. Okay, so say you don't have those, but then you have this kid who does have. A lot of kids, I swear, man, it's so crazy. A lot of people are now robbing kids for their shoes, robbing kids for their empty clothes, and it's sad because their parents work hard for that. But just because they do not have, but the media portrays this so much. You gotta understand, yes, he who controls the written word controls the thinking of the people. And that's he who controls commercials too. If every commercial you see LeBron and Jordan or LeBron, you're gonna want that. And then you see kids at home, I mean, you know who got that. So if you don't have it, either I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna rob it from somebody else, or
that's not everybody.
It's not everybody, but it's majority. You have to look at the inner you, because this is what y'all not understanding. I know y'all have an opinion, but you understand, my brother, I'm just gonna use him as an example, because that's my heart. He was raised, everybody have their ups and downs. My mom, she didn't give us material things. That wasn't her thing. She gifted us with love. But just because when he tried to understand, Mom, why can I have this? Mom, why can I have that? She tried to explain to him, son, I cannot afford this. So what do you think he went out there to do?
To get those things that she
get them things. And you got to understand, these are the people who was in Mifflin's Middle. These are the people who's in Indianola. These are the kids who have been hurt, though. Just because it's crazy. They have been literally hurt or brainwashed to believe this is the thing that they need to survive. And if I don't have this, then there ain't no point in me being hurt.
And that goes back to your question.
And not denying that, Tambrika, what we're saying and what we're doing in this room is we're exposing you to something different.
Okay,
we're not necessarily coming from your mom, or we're not your parents per se. But what we're showing you is that somebody put this out there and said that this right here is better than this right here. And it's the same thing. Maybe if your brother was here, he could have seen that. But these, wait a minute. But these ones right here, they're here now. And they need to know that they determine what's cool. And if they stand on that, if it's this sweater, and enough people like that sweater's dope, then people will follow her. You have the real power. That other stuff is perceived and projected onto you. We are the real power. This is the real power. Knowing who is doing what you described.
Hold on. Back to what okay. For me, yes, but I had to learn that, though. You're not understanding. At first,
I'm understanding.
At first, I was in that stage. I'm only 19. You got to keep that in mind. I was in that stage where I had to do what everybody else was doing. But like I said, I never had the resources. But now at 19, it took time. It took time for me to be able to learn to love myself enough to care not what other people thought.
Right.
And that's where it's getting caught in, because people are looking to be accepted. That's what all come back to that love thing. Everybody's looking for love. Your parents is out of work. They're trying to make a life for you. So who is the next person that's next to you? Your peer.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
Wait. It's also to this ecology, though. Guess what? It's an ecology system that they have set up. Psychologists have studied this thing, though. You have the school.
You need to come around so they can hear you, because
come closer, Tom.
No, you come on now.
Podcast, yeah. Yeah, we do broadcast. So, it's a internet radio station. But
by the way, he had like his hand up for a while.
Yeah, we do that.
That's something we have to
I'm shy, okay?
Oh, no, I'm shy now.
you got time to be shy. You 19 now.
Okay, you right. Okay, what I was saying was, it's this whole ecology system that's set up. You have the inner school system. You have, first is your parents, then it's your siblings, then it's your peers, then it's the inner school system. But what controls that? The medicine, the hospitals, the whole school system. Then what controls that? You know what they have on the outside of the whole control? Media and politics. Because that controls the thinking of the people. Hip-hop is strong because it controls what we think. Y'all not looking at that. Okay, yes, you have your own mind. But like you said, every time you turn on that radio station, what do you hear? Your mind. That's because that's who you're looking for. You're looking for that role model. You understand? You're looking for somebody like a Martin Luther King. But we don't have any more people thinking of like Martin Luther King. It's circumstance. Circumstances change everything. I don't care what nobody say. If you're you're living in the city, but then somebody put you in the wood, your whole mindset got to change. Because it's the circumstance that you put in. So that's all I got to say. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. There's the young lady over here. Oh, she
left.
Yeah, you better talk, boy.
Come on, you better use that man voice.
I got one thing to say. My whole life since I've been in kindergarten, I've been getting bullied. From kindergarten to 12th grade. I'm not in school no more. But it's all about character. It's all about you holding up your own character and your own voice and your own passion. By sometimes them seeing how strong you are, how much character you got, they're gonna come to you like, you cool. Since you never change, you never let us get to your mind. You never change for nobody. You stay the same. About 9th grade, I got bullied all the way up to like 10th. But I stayed the same and stayed my own way, stayed intelligent. Because I know you get bullied for being smart now. I don't know why, but it's like that. But I stayed smart and all. Now people start coming to me like, oh, you smart. Can you help me out? Can I be more like you? I've got so popular I got voted most likely to be successful, even though I stayed the same. I didn't have the most things, I didn't have the most shoes, I didn't have the most clothes. But your character builds up everything. Some people have the most clothes, most shoes, and have a bad character and still be hated. And one thing is, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right. Everyone likes you, and everyone is always for you. You're not doing something right. There's always going to be a hater or someone out there that bullies or says something about you, because that's just how life is. I don't know why, but that's how it is. But that's how it is.
Go ahead, little dude.
I have this in my mind, like, okay, it's kind of like what she said, like what people don't have, but what moms think and little kids, they think that they're rich just because they have on expensive stuff. They think they're rich, so they want to say, oh, that's why I got more stuff than you. That's why my shoes cost more and yours only cost $1 or $30 and mine cost $200 or $100. But it's not really, it don't really matter about what type of clothes you got, what type of clothes you have on. Like if you want to have style, you can make the clothes that you have on, you can make those style. Because that's you, that's what you wear, that's what your mom buys you. You gotta thank your mom, because for real, she can just make you walk around and like ripped up clothes. It got holes all in them, but no, instead the stuff that you have grown out of, your mom buys you new stuff instead of you making you feel all squished up and let it be all the way up here. Then people call you like gay and stuff. But it's just not about what clothes you have. You can, if you have dirty clothes, you can scrub those off if you don't have a washer or dryer. You can scrub those off, and then they can be clean. When they're clean, you can make that your style, your own style. It don't have to be based on like her sweater or his shirt or his coochie jacket. It don't have to be based on that.
That is so true. Do you know that that's what's in style? Nikes,
white t-shirt,
Jordans. That's what he did. That was his style. That was projected on you. That is so true what you just said.
I just want to say this before passing Mike the Prophet, is that what you determine is cool is trying to be creative. You know what I mean? Like you got to create that. Like you're not too young to start your own businesses. You know what I mean? Like you can start your own apps. You know what I mean? You can have an idea starting a shoe company. There's kids your age, you know what I mean, creating things. You know what I mean? You have the power to control what you want. You know what I mean? You determine what's cool. Not what society determines what you think is cool. You determine what's cool. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have a whole bunch of money just to start anything. It's just the idea. And you got parents, you know what I mean? You just say like, Mom, I got this great idea, you know what I mean? And I want to do this. Okay, let's see how we can do it, you know what I mean? And it's just the fact that y'all not too young to create what y'all want to create.
But that's hip hop. That's hip hop. All the styles that people are talking about now were sparked by individuals in the street. Nike wasn't popular until black people started putting them on and saying this is what you're supposed to wear. A group of us came together and say Nike is the shoe. Before that, it was Adidas, and before Adidas, it was Puma. All those shoes became popular because a group of us decided that was the shoes to have. And you know why? Because those were the only shoes we could afford. We used to take our jeans, like he said, and we would go and put our names on them or tear holes in them or maybe make the holes that was already in them because we couldn't get nothing else, made them look fly. Now what is kids walking around doing right now? That's hip-hop. Being able to take what you got and create something better. Can you do that?
I mean, when you say that, I'm sorry. I just got to say this real quick. My cousin would go to Trading Newsies, take his jeans, and just put this tremendous crease in them, and that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody followed that, and I want to bring that up because that's as low as you know you can go when it comes to clothes. That he still made that seem like a good thing. You know, so it's us, it's ourselves who make it cool. Sorry, y'all.
I'm about to go.
Alright, fine then.
Also, it was one of y'all. One of y'all said something about cool. Well, guess what? My personality cool. That's all I have to say. My personality cool.
I want to say dare to be different. Dare to be different, and like Sorry said, understand your power. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what you do and how people and how that's going to affect others. I wear African chains, not because nobody else do, because that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I wear dashikis. Why? I don't care if nobody like it. A lot of people give me bad looks and all type of stuff. I don't care. Dashiki is the original shirt. Made by that you see African people wearing, such as myself. After I started wearing my beads, though, I started to notice people working at different places. I would go, oh man, them is nice. Where can I get them? I come around 2 weeks later, they got some beads on. You know what I'm saying? I done started something. You know what I'm saying? So don't. Always remember that to do what makes you feel good.
Profit, and we're cutting it.
Let me tell y'all some personal experiences.
From all profit, you got 2 minutes.
Alright. Well then, I'll make this short, sweet, and quick. Maggots.
No. Nope.
No maggots.
No.
Better come out respectful.
I guess you could say I grew up the most constricted kid on the planet. Some words I couldn't say, some certain stuff I couldn't do. If I see one kid doing it, I really couldn't do it. It was usually either out of fear or whatever. By the time I was like 11 or 12, I just started acting out because I felt that I missed out on them stuff. Like, what was it that was so special about these kids that I had to actually face relentless teasing every day, going to school, afraid to go to school, and afraid of also skipping school, and I just had to sit there and take it. What was it about that I missed so much that made me act out? And it took me, actually, I'm still trying to find myself right now. I'm going to admit that. I'm in the process of really trying to find out who I am. But the one thing that I found that's always been consistent in coolness, in this cool era or whatever, in style, charisma. The one thing that actually makes me cool, or that actually dictates exactly how I can be cool, is my own charisma. Because if I have that positive charisma right there, and if I'm able to actually spread out this positive charisma, and have everybody else feel the positive charisma, I'm cool. Enough said.
That's it, brother Hot Town.
All right, go and say some closing words before I go and take people off.
I just want to say, man, that I'm just happy just to hear the youth speak. You know what I mean? That speaks a lot to me. You know, I'm just speechless right now. I'm just, that's really my closing words. To be honest with you.
All right, we're going to play Shackles of Americanism by Mr. Deity, and then we out. We about to grub. So if you out there listening, you in Columbus, don't show up at the door, because we ain't going to answer, because we about to eat now. You done did the work, we going to eat. Peace.
We all have African names, and so many brothers and sisters have yet to progress to that level. They may not understand that where they got their slave name from in the first place. Again, how important is it to embrace an African name? I'm a late arrival, I must confess. Perhaps your parents gave you an African name at birth. Is that not correct? Indeed. Now, how important, how difficult was that for you, being raised in the African American community with an African name when a lot of your friends walk around with Garys and Joes and Susans and everything?
Okay, I
I believe that the New African Panthers are about serious freedom, really reaching out and embracing serious freedom. If you truly want serious freedom and serious liberation, if you want to have self-determination, how can you do that with the name that somebody else gave you? You know what I'm saying? The name from a person who didn't even respect you. You know, so when my mother gave me Tupac, I felt as though she literally liberated me at birth, cut the ties off of me at birth, and set me free. You know, set me on the path to righteousness. And with Tupac, growing up with that name, you know, when I was a kid, I did stupid stuff. You know, what's your name, Joe? I didn't want that bright star within me, you know. But now I embrace it because it gives you character. You know, every
This
time I
is
say,
Cleveland, and you're listening to Yahweh Journey Radio.
Why is that there? And it's good. It gives me a chance to express myself and express what I'm about, what I'm going to do.
This is Brother Asaru, and you now listen to Jami Journey Radio. Peace.
What it does actually is liberate you and lets everybody know that you're breaking those chains that this whole society is put.
This is Willie. Welcome to Jinyame Journey Radio. I want to give shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation out there. I want to give shout out to my mom. I want to give shout out my dad for raising me and my family for being around me. And I want to give shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
If it was, Joe. But on the strength, it should shock you. It should make you feel depressed, and it should make you feel bad inside walking around with some other person's name. You need to drop that and liberate yourself.
This is Shamika. This is Jinyame Journey Radio.
So that you okay, Joe, you know, so pick it up. You know what I'm saying? It's about that time. It's about that time. It's not all about just having an African name, because I met this sister, you know, she said, my name is Joe.
Peace, Hotep. It's Mansour Hotep, a.k.a. Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity, does it sound good? I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Jinyame Journey Radio.
And if you don't even know your culture, you know what I'm saying? So it's not all about just being, you know, Akanyele or Tupac or Yaka Caesar. It's all about money or whatever. Right. It's all about having the brain to back up the name. And also, we could extend that to the wearing now of Africans. Yeah, you know, and a lot of brothers don't even.
Yo, this is Quasi Low in the Cap City, and you are listening to Jinyame Journey.
You wanted one. I said, so can you name me 10 countries? He could. So he didn't get one until he at least named
This is Days, and you're listening to Jinyame Journey Radio.
So it's important, again, that we know and recognize who we are as Africans before we, again, can embrace that whole philosophy. But that's a good point, and it's well taken, hopefully, by a lot of brothers and sisters out there who are still walking around with the slave master's name and refuse to give it up for one reason or another. And I guess that brings me to my whole point about throwing off the shackles of Americanism.
Mr. Deity.
If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry its name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Jinyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Jinyame tribe, Jinyame family. Stand up. Peace.